Okay, what we have here today is a Taylor 814 CE. It's a 2008 model. And the issue this guitar is having is with the intonation in the lower strings. I have the truss rod adjusted, and the action is low, and uh, everything's pretty uniform as far as the neck being straight. And that's been corrected, but the intonation problem is still there, and here's the reason. Notice how the saddle is, the contact point of the saddle here for this lower string is forward, all the way forward. Actually, it should be the other way. It should be back some here, and because of this lack of compensation, the string will play sharp up the fingerboard, especially this low string. Let me give you an example of this, see if I can hold the guitar and hold this camera and do this correctly. Let's see here. All right. So I have it tuned, and let's check the bottom E. All right, that's open string E. And now I'm going to fret it at the G. And you can see that it's sharp. Now, I don't know why Taylor for years made these saddles. The newer saddles in the newer Taylors are not done this way. They're actually compensated better, and they are radiused properly. These older ones, a lot of them have this problem, and we're going to correct that with a new saddle. I'm going to make a bone saddle for this so that we can have the proper shape, and especially the intonation, but also the issue of the radius. We want to check that radius of that saddle and make sure that it is compatible with the radius of the fingerboard, because I have had a lot of these Taylor saddles that look this way that are over radiused. I'm going to check that when I take it out, and definitely be radiusing the new saddle properly to the fingerboard, and also doing the proper compensation on a new bone saddle. Now I'm checking the radius of the saddle that came on this Taylor guitar, and the radius of the fingerboard is a 14. I just checked it, and looking at this saddle, you put a 14 gauge up against this saddle. If you'll notice over here on this side, there is a gap. That's because the saddle is over radiused, especially on the plain string side. So it does need a properly radiused saddle. And here you can see the over radius of this saddle a little better. I've drawn a line from the top of the saddle around a 14 gauge. So this is the 14 gauge line, and this is the actual saddle curve, and you can see how that it is off considerably. All right, I've made the new bone saddle out of the bone blank, and it is properly radiused to a 14, and it is also compensated, shaped with the high E and the B. I've checked the intonation. This has given me now much better intonation all the way across the strings, actually, with this better radius. And this point of contact from the G is angled back. I don't know if you can notice that or not. You can see that, but you can see how that's, yeah, there you go. It's back further. And just like you would have to adjust the individual saddles on an electric guitar like a Strat or a Tele or something, and move them forward or back to correct the intonation or the ability of the guitar to play on key up the fingerboard. All right, let's check that intonation. There's the E. There's the G on key. Everything's on key now. And it sounds, with that bone saddle, sounds much better. All right, thanks for watching.